Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday before the Battle of Fool's Bay, and it is another episode of Pyreside Chat. I am Kwame Tempo Mensa, joined by the legendary master of VFX, Michal Manus, the father of the abyss. No, wait, wrong title. The professor of particles, Potakowski. Hopefully, I did not butcher that. How are we doing today?
Almost.
Damn.
Uh, really nice to be here. It's Potakowski, by the way.
Potakowski. Oh,
Potakowski, yeah.
So
Uh,
close.
I should have known
yeah,
too.
that was pretty good, though.
Yeah.
So I
I was
don't
gonna
blame you.
ask you, but I really just had this. I don't know. I felt it, man. I really thought like I was gonna just surprise you with the perfect pronunciation. And hey.
I mean, you almost did it, and no one else before in SunSpear actually tried pronouncing my surname. So yeah,
Yeah.
you're the first person, actually.
Beautiful. Well, I got an easier one for you. The other man here joining me per usual during this week. It is John Carpenter, Mr. Big John. How are we doing today?
Fantastic. So excited for this event tomorrow.
Oh
I'm
man.
just pumped as hell. Can't
Yo,
wait.
me too. Super duper excited. Yeah, for those that don't know what event we are talking about, it is indeed the Battle of Fool's Bay. That is going to be an open play test for everybody. Massive update. We got some amazing things in store for you, and also just the people that are going to be a part of it. Cannot wait to play with so many of y'all that have not had the chance to check our awesome game out. So this weekend, tell everybody, tell your parents, tell your kids, tell your brother, your sister, your friends, your dogs, your cats, that it is going to be an epic weekend here for Immortal Gates of Pyre. But before we even get into all that excitement, we got an amazing guest here who actually has done some great things for said event, for the game that we are developing. He is a VFX artist. He is I did not realize how many crazy cool events, games that he was messing around with beforehand, and just such a handsome lad that he is right here to be joining us here at SunSpear. It's a pleasure to have you. You've probably, if you've been in our Discord, you've definitely seen him a lot. So I wanted to give a gigantic shout out to you, Mihao, for just being an awesome community advocate. You've honestly just been so helpful. And if you guys don't know who that is Manus in chat. So if you're in our Discord and you see Manus, this is the guy right here. So
Thank
before we jump into some of your hobbies, your video game and game dev history, and how you ended up here, you want to tell the people who you are, where you're from, how it was. How did you become this awesome person?
you. Sure. I'm really bad at introducing myself, but I'm Michal. As Kwame said, I'm known on Discord as Manus. Probably later on I will explain why, but
Please do.
we'll go to that. And yeah, I'm doing VFX for the game. So like for anyone who doesn't know what VFX are, they are like shiny things appearing on your screen that kind of make the game feel explosive, I would say, and juicy.
Oh yeah.
So a very fun job to do. And what can I say? I'm from Poland. Uh, I I live in Poland all my life, basically.
Okay.
I have wonderful parents that supported me all the way, all, like all the way. Let's say that.
That's
Uh,
awesome. Yeah. Hey, not everybody can say that, you know?
yeah,
So
I'm really grateful for that. Same with wonderful brother. That is actually probably the reason why I'm in game dev. So and in SunSpear. So this will also be part of the story.
yeah, I can't wait.
And yeah, I guess that's mostly it about me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I know you have some things to share with us too, as well, as far as your journey here. And like you said, your brother, right?
Yeah,
You've pretty much been a gamer your whole life, I assume.
I did
You
since I
say,
was 3 years old.
yeah, I was gonna say, you said that it was such a huge part of your life, and I know a lot of people can resonate with that. But man, everybody has a different journey, and even like I asked Javier, it's like did you choose like the game life, or did the game life choose you, or the art life, right? And it seems like the gaming life chose you, and here you are today. So I'm super excited to dive into your journey here. But I mean, I know you have hobbies just like any other one of us as well, too. So at least tell us some of the things that you do in your free time, or at least maybe growing up, some hobbies that you might have, maybe still have, or things that led you here.
Sure. With a pleasure. So uh, I'm not sure if the photos will appear now, but I have a couple of here that are prepared. And probably we'll start with the first hobby I ever had in life.
Uh huh.
Since I was like, I don't know, 5 years old or 6 years old, and it was collecting Pokemon cards. And uh, with one exception, which is collecting cards of first gen, because I don't really like Pokemons that were later on. Like for me, the first gen felt
That's like,
natural, felt like they have some soul in them. And later
yeah,
on, I just couldn't like enjoy the next generations. So I was trying to like collect as much as possible, and I ended up with I, I I haven't counted them, but it's like 2,000 cards or something like that.
dang.
Yeah, I have a lot of duplicates and stuff. So that was a huge part of my childhood collecting them. And I have them till this day, and maybe at some point I will resurrect this hobby and kind of try to collect cast all of them.
Yeah, right. I was a big fan too. Like that's my the original 151. That's I never really got too much into it afterwards, but
Mhm.
dang, yeah, absolutely right. They have a special place in my heart. I
I
did
gotta
before we
say,
do. Oh, sorry,
oh,
go.
I was just gonna say, I also was a huge fan of the original 151. Although I gotta say, I can't really imagine Pokemon without my boy Cyndaquil. Like, come
That
on,
was next, right? Yeah, yeah.
you gotta have. I mean, I don't know. It's a slippery slope
Yeah,
because like then you want these some of the other ones that come out, but I mean, I don't know. I
yeah,
do love the
there are a
151
couple
though.
Pokemons that are like very good are
they
in
they
late
pass.
editions. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
but they're like on average, I kind of just stayed with the first one
Yeah,
with
yeah.
my beloved Snorlax. This
Is
is
that your
Pokemon I
favorite?
love from the first time I played on my Game Boy with like on the yellow, I believe. Yeah, I still have it.
Mm.
Oh wow.
And he was like laying in the path that you couldn't cross, and you need
Mm.
pocket
Yep.
fluid to kind of cross it. And
Love it.
uh, I
Memories.
love him from that time. And then I was spending years trying to find the card for him, and
And then
managed.
finally got it.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is my proudest possession.
Oh,
Nice. Love
that's
that.
uh,
awesome.
okay, I will probably go further. So
Yeah.
the other, give me a second. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, other
Uh,
hobbies, right? Like, look
yeah,
at this. This is a big change here. Where are you
yeah,
at?
this is actually my brother, and it's when we were sailing like a couple years ago, 3 or 4, and my entire family is like sailors. We all sail, we all got like licenses, and I love sailing. It's
Nice.
awesome, and I need to come back to it because after COVID, like I just completely stopped. I need to like find some friends to sail with again, or I need to ask my brother to do it again. So yeah,
If you have a
this
boat,
is hmm?
if you have a boat, I'll come to Poland right now. Okay, me.
Poland
Get
is
Big
cheap.
John and Kip. I'm
Poland is
down.
cheap. We can get very cheap boat, so don't worry.
A SunSpear boat.
Yeah,
I'll be down
from other passions I don't have here. Like I have plenty of passions, but like
for sure.
the most relevant are probably anime. I'm a huge fan, especially there are three I love the most, which is recently Vinland Saga. Uh,
Oh, I
yeah,
think I saw they
mhm.
released that. I think on
The second season, I love
yeah,
it.
thought so. Okay, that's something that I did
Yeah,
stumble upon as well. That was really cool.
it's awesome. Steins Gate and Wolf's Rain. Uh,
Okay,
yeah, and also Usagi Drop, but it's totally different from those three. Then for games, like I'm huge also nerd, so for games it's like my favorite one is definitely Final Fantasy IX. I'm
I saw.
I love it. You can see from posters.
Yeah.
Yeah, then probably Mass Effects, like the original trilogy, especially the first one. I love it. And like
Oh, Andromeda
Pyre.
wasn't your favorite? No?
Hmm?
Said
What?
Andromeda wasn't your favorite? No, no.
No, like I haven't played Andromeda. My brother played it, and he actually said that like when you have mods installed, it's not that bad. Like
Okay,
it's actually a decent game, especially like from gameplay side, I believe.
gotcha.
But yeah, for me, like Mass Effect One is like masterpiece.
Such a
Yeah.
masterpiece. Yeah.
Then Pyre, I think. So I mean Immortal also, but the Pyre
The other
like the
pie.
yeah the one from like Supergiant Games, and there are
Second rate.
to-
No, I'm
yeah
joking. I'm joking.
tons of other games like Little Inferno and stuff. Gears of War. Yeah, there are many. Yeah, I can go forward because I don't have that much time.
Yeah, no.
Next things are like my animals. I also love animals.
Yeah.
The thing is that I don't have any right now because all of the animals I had in my life are already passed away. So this is Kropka. I actually had her
Oh
since I
wow.
was 3 years old until I was 20 years old. So or 19, it was 19.
Oh, that's such a great
Yeah,
like time to have with a pet, man. I'll.
yeah,
Oh.
almost entire life. She was lovely. She
Yeah,
was
like
just
a family
angel.
member.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. She is in character. She was like Ajari, kind of very lovely being. Then kind of a demonic graphite. Uh, this is an actual photo I took. Like,
No,
you,
that's the real last boss of Dark Souls
yeah,
right there, yo, right there.
he passed away a year ago, unfortunately.
Mm.
I also had a dog that I couldn't find photos for that passed away 2 years ago. So right now I'm on a hiatus with animals a bit and waiting for a future.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
so
really
cute
looking
though.
forward
Yeah,
to get other, probably cat in the future. I love cats.
think more of a cat. Yeah. Uh huh.
Cats
Hey,
are
you
awesome.
know what, Big John? I think right. You got to keep this guy around. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I guess now we can talk about my like how I got into game dev
Yes.
specifically because the story starts when I was 13 years old, and at that time I was mostly gaming for like entertainment or graphics. Like those two were the most important for me. I like the gameplay the most and looking at a game that is pretty.
Yeah.
Uh, and so I was playing lots of RTSs. Like my first one was when I was 3 years old. It was Stronghold, the origin one. Then I was playing Stronghold Crusaders,
Yeah.
Age of Empires, especially second one. I love this game.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's
Or
the
the
one.
two.
Earth 2150 and 2160. This is not really well known RTS, but it's my favorite actually, especially 2160. It's a Polish game, but
Okay, I was wondering. I
it's
was
a
like, oh.
it's a really good one. And StarCraft. I mean, I only played first StarCraft, and the second StarCraft I actually played like 2 months ago, first time.
Oh, for the
Oh
first
wow.
time,
There you go.
really?
Yeah, I only played the first one. So I was like I don't know much about StarCraft, but I enjoyed the first one a lot. Especially playing Zerg.
Yeah, good
Uh,
man. So,
and
no bias.
yeah, and yeah, there were probably a couple more RTSs I play. I love this genre. But coming back to the story, basically on my 13th birthday, my brother bought me Final Fantasy VII, and uh, I actually really wanted to play it because it was a game I was watching my brother play when I was like 5 or 6. Um, so I was pretty hyped. I loved the game for the gameplay at first. Like material system is awesome, and then I managed to get the end of disc one, and it was the
Four
moment I
discs. Is it three or four? Three discs, right?
free disc for Final Fantasy VII, and this was the time I got totally shocked. Like it was actually the first time I cried on video game.
I
So,
I think a lot of
yeah,
people can say that.
yeah, especially if you don't know what happens there. Like if you actually play it with like for the first time, not knowing the lore and stuff, not having spoilers, it's actually very shocking for the game to happen. And it was definitely first time I cried on video game, and it was the time I converted from like being a gameplay gamer and entertainment gamer to believing that games are art. It
Okay.
was that moment, and then I played through rest of the game, and before the final location, I took 2 or 3 months of a break because I got so much into the story that I just didn't want it to end.
Oh.
I didn't
Oh,
want it to end, and well, at some point I accepted that I have to finish
yeah.
it. But dang, that was hard. So this game basically changed my life entirely. After playing it, my actually I had a like uh, my dream of like going into game dev started. I basically just wanted to create games that would that people while playing would feel the same way I played while
When you
playing
played
Final
it.
Fantasy. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially just to evoke that, right? The difference between a game that you just play for to pass time or something that really impacts you, tells a story. And you know what? Even back then, too, the way they did it without voice acting is insane, right?
yeah,
So you're reading all of this, and then the storylines are awesome. The characters are so, um, I don't know, they're just so much, they're so personable, right? And they have these it wasn't like the greatest graphics when you look back at it, like the hands, right? You notice like how like the hands and the arms are. It's so funny. But when it came out,
yeah.
it was
Sure.
insane. But
Yeah,
yeah.
when I was playing it, it was already a bit outdated. But as I
Mhm.
said, like I still had a nostalgia of just watching my brother play it,
Gotcha.
so I didn't mind that much. Then after it, I started playing games with full focus on story. So this was the second time I actually replayed Mass Effects, and like first time I played for the gameplay, now I play for story. And I was like, oh damn, it's so good. I've played Final Fantasy 8, 9, and 10, and 9. Nine is like perfect game for me. I
Yeah.
love it so
And you have a
much.
really cool drawing from Final Fantasy 9. Well, I mean, I
Yeah,
guess, right?
yeah, but yeah, yeah. There's a logo and there's Vivi also there on the wall, and I have like something on the. I have actually wooden kind of. Give me a second.
Okay, okay. Oh snap. Here we go. Is it like a figurine or something? Oh, wait for it.
I actually have like the my roster from
Oh,
Final Fantasy 9
There it
that I
is.
finished the game with. So
Nice.
wait, that's like your actual
yeah, those are like characters I
Yo,
chose at the
that's
end.
so
Oh,
sick.
that's so cool. Love it.
That
Yeah,
is awesome.
That's great.
yeah. So I'm a big fan, and yeah, and that's how I got the dream of getting into game dev. And my initial thought was, give me a second. It doesn't let. Okay, it changed. Initial thought was what I wanna do. For
Yeah.
most of my life, I wanted to be an artist, but I don't really have artistic skills that much. Like compared to my
Says the
brother, especially, this is like the best thing I ever drawn in my life, and it, it's like
I don't know what you're talking
uncomparable.
about, man. That's
like
pretty good.
I'm over here like, okay, way to make me feel bad, right? If that you're like, oh, I don't have artistic talent. And then he shows this amazing picture of Vivi, or, black mage. That's
I
Vivi
mean,
though, right? I assume.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's the
but
only one I'm proud of, though.
hey,
Rest note. So yeah,
that's
basically,
awesome.
so I kind of decided that I can go into game dev as a programmer. So I started coding, learning how to code in C++, and um, in high school, I gathered friends from my class and tried to create our first game in Unity. We were very cocky. We decided to start with um, detectivistic RPG in open world. As for the first
Yeah,
game, it's
that's
very
ambitious.
bad.
Very ambitious, is it not?
It- yeah, we managed to create our team logo. We were called Fieldfare
Fieldfare
Wizards.
Wizards. Yep, I saw
Let's go.
that.
Yeah.
That was a cool icon.
Yeah, and we had some like graphics for the game, like couple weird graphics.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, we had some music, we had some story, but from code, so the part I was responsible for, we had one script for movement that was not even working properly, and we were working on the game for half a year.
Yeah.
Uh, so this was the time I actually humbled myself a lot in game dev, and I took some break to from like creating games to more focus on like learning programming more
Okay.
before I try getting my
Into
first
the
game.
full.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
did want to ask actually that with all that too. You had said I'm not like, what was your role at least in that game for the most part? Did
I
you
was a main
the coding?
programmer,
Okay.
and I also made music.
Okay, nice. So you dabble in a lot of stuff too. That's so cool.
Yeah,
Getting a lot.
there will be about it also later. So
Gotcha.
when I started going to uni, like I started studying IT because I thought that I need to be better at programming to create games. There was a game dev guild for students on that uni called Digital Night Studio. This is actually a huge step in my like game dev career.
Mhm.
Uh, it was like meetings for all the students that like we had people from industry coming to us
Yeah.
and like giving lectures and stuff. Like we had people from Superhot, from CD Projekt, from a couple other places that were just coming to us and like teaching us basically. And there was a group of people that basically was creating games together.
Yeah.
Um, and this is also the place where I learned about game jams. And for people that don't know about game
Yeah,
jams,
tell us. I did
uh,
see that you had quite a few cool things to show us as
yeah.
when I was looking through.
So game jams are basically kind of like marathons of creating games. You have usually 48 hours, but there are some longer game jams, like a week game jams, month game jams, etc., or shorter ones. And you have this time to create a game, and usually you're given a specific theme that your game should kind of follow. Uh, so this is actually like for anyone who wants to enter game dev, this is the best way. Like if you want to
Yeah.
learn anything, just go on the game jams because this is like first of all, it's very friendly community. Like people
Okay.
just come there because they want to have fun and create games.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's rarely a competition. And second of all, it's like this time pressure. First of all, it's enough to create the game, and second of all, it's great to have motivation to actually learn something. Before every game jam, I kind of give myself like a target of what I want to learn, and then I go to the game jam and try to learn that. So it's awesome. And yeah, on my first game jam, I actually failed to create a game. But on my second game jam, this is like the first game jam game that I succeeded on finishing. It was about trains that were. It was called Choo Choo Train Lovers. Choo Choo Train Lovers,
Love it.
and
Yeah, yeah, I saw
yeah,
that.
it was about trains running, and you had to like catch other like uh, wagons that were like
Oh, this
sliding
is
to
awesome.
the
I love this
left.
art too. The sun.
Yeah, and then when you had wagons of your color, then you were running faster. It was
Oh,
very,
okay.
yeah, it was very fun game. I still have it. Like I still have
Oh, that's so cool.
all the games I
Have
will show
played them.
here.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
you've there's quite a few that even I saw, but like
yeah.
how many I mean I'm not gonna put you on the spot and say exactly how many games have you completed or worked on, especially when these kind of game jams.
At this point, I believe I have
Phew,
around 20 games completed or
yeah,
something like that.
that's
So
Nice.
insane. So
yeah, like game jams are very addicting. When you start coming at them, you just can't stop. You will go. At some point, I was like taking part in like 4 game jams per month. So like every weekend, I had 48 hours of creating game, which was insane. Yeah. Okay.
wow. Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
because we're gonna see some of those too, right? Like similar to this, right? I wanted to.
Yeah. So now there's another part of like my life that is very important. My like from my mother's side, my family is actually almost entirely made of teachers, and I myself love to teach people. So when I was in this guild, I was part of this guild. I actually tried to give a lecture about this game jam I was on, like how to manage time and like some tips and tricks on how to like approach game jams.
Yep.
And yeah, this was like my first lecture ever. I was stressed as fuck.
I can only imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
giving lecture for like in front of like I don't know 30 students back then. It was stressful, but yeah, it was great step for me because then later on I also got addicted of giving lectures and
Yeah, teaching
oh
others, showing
yeah,
uh what it is that you know. And I bet you surprised yourself too. Like, okay, like I guess I do know quite a bit here, and just to be able to express it to
yeah,
others for them to understand is a whole nother skill set.
exactly. You actually don't need to know that much to teach someone. Like first, like to s- tell someone something that they don't know or that they
Hmm.
might learn. So, uh, yeah, it was great experience to also like witness that I'm still a huge beginner. I was like on two game jams back then,
Oh, I was gonna ask about
but
how many you
but
had done before.
yeah,
Wow,
it
too.
was just two game jams and basically one finished game, and it was enough for making a lecture that people were really interested in. So yeah, like don't fear teaching people.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Because it can be
and
terrifying. Lectures, presentations like this, right?
yeah, okay. Here we're getting to big things. So this is ZTGK, Zespołowy Konkurs Tworzenia Gier Komputerowych, which translates to which
Yes.
translates to like a competition for students that you create games in a groups. And it's like one of the biggest in Poland competitions.
Nice.
And on my first year, I actually attended it with this game on the photo. I'm actually with the guy with the microphone,
Yeah.
and it was total failure. Like our game
Oh
was,
no! What happened?
I mean, our game was horribly made. It was like because we are still beginners, like, but it was very bad. But still, people were so lovely. Like
I bet.
this was something I really learned about game dev to not fear like going into it and like talking with people. People in game dev are like very passionate. They
Yeah.
love what they do, so they're usually a bit happier in life. and,
Yeah.
and they are like most of my interactions with people from game dev were just wholesome. And that's something I really recommend. Like, don't fear to make games that are bad. Just
Just
do it
do
and
it.
improve it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good advice too. I mean, like that's one of the big things that hold people back, right? That fear of failure as well. I mean, I know I am a victim of it too, right? Like where it's like, oh man, if I
Mhm.
fail this, then whoa, what's gonna happen afterwards, right? And then you don't end up doing it, and it's like, well, you don't even know what's gonna happen, and you don't know what could have happened, right? So
Yeah,
just to
exactly.
be able and to have a nice community that supports, right? Learn that here. SunSpear, like a lot, we're all bringing that student energy. So I love that you got
Mhm.
that teacher energy too.
Okay, I will go further. And now we are entering the zone of how I got my first job in game dev. It was actually on my first year, and it was by total accident. I didn't plan yet to find the job. The thing is that I was like a huge part of this guild community, like this game dev guild. And at some point, I became vice president because I was like putting a lot of my time there. And we had some integration trip, like visiting a VR studio to play some games. This is photo from that time.
Okay.
And I noticed that in this VR studio, it's basically look like this. I've noticed a friend of mine that seemed to work as a developer there, creating games for those VRs.
VRs, yeah.
Yeah, and I wrote to him on Facebook later that day if like that, like I'm programming games, but I have never tried programming a VR game. And if he minds showing me just around to see how he creates stuff, etc. Like I just wanted to kind of see how his workday looks like.
Okay. Yeah.
We scheduled a meeting. I came to that place again, and he actually scheduled the meeting with his boss, and, and
Not terrifying.
yeah, and his boss actually started talking to me in a way like I'm already in the company. So I mean, I went along with it. I didn't mind. Like I didn't expect to like work there, but they
It kind of
taken
just
me.
like,
So
yeah, it's like you
yeah, pretty cool.
already.
Yeah, I started as a programmer there because I had the programming skills. But in my free time, I was like working a bit on VFX. I would go back to it. So my first job was actually as a VFX artist because they needed someone to make VFX, and I was like, I can make those.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, it wasn't the moment where I thought that I would be doing VFX for the rest of my life. It was just I can do it for now. So yeah,
And you had
because
able, you've already had a lot of different kind of skills, right? And just to say, yeah, sure, why not?
yeah, I
And
can try that.
master something.
Exactly. So I
So
was
what
like
do we got here?
okay, just as I was studying, and then after like my lectures and stuff, I was going to this VR house and working there. So it was part-time job back then. And first half was unpaid, like first half a year. So I was like going there, and I had like access to all the technology, all the VR stuff. I could play all the games, but I wasn't paid. And then later, after half a year, I was paid. So like it wasn't perfect, but like it was experience. So this is great.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Okay. So this is one of my proudest creations in terms of game jams. That is because it was the first game jam that I actually attended alone. Like this was solo game jam that I wanted to create game all by myself, like all the music, graphics, code, etc. And the problem was that I'm not good at art. Uh,
Says this
so
guy.
so I thought that well, if I can draw, if I can't 3D model well, then I would try uh, like adding some post processing and maybe particles.
Yes,
Uh,
Professor Particles himself.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is actually a game that started everything. Because this is where I started to use Bloom, I started to use particles, and it was lovely concept because it was actually a breakout, but RPG. Like you could control
Oh.
you could not only control the like palette, I'm not sure what's that called, but all rocket, but also control the ball itself. Like you could strike with it and stuff. You had leveling
What?
system where you could
Yeah.
like boost your HP and stuff, and you had to like choose a certain answer, and then you had like storytelling in that.
Really?
I
Okay.
I
Yeah, this
love
is
this concept.
uh-huh.
Uh, I really want to redo it one day and make a proper version with the current skills I have.
Jump
Yeah,
Share a lot more now. Arkanoid is one of my favorites in NES. So
so this is from the game jam from that game. So I was like showing game around to people that were rating it, and it almost won it. The problem was that there were not like I sat in a wrong spot because not all judges came to me, so I didn't have all the
oh, just the
points.
location,
Yeah,
location, location. That's the first rule, man.
yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Marketing is very important in game dev. Without it, you won't win. So I'm glad SunSpear has wonderful marketing. Uh, yeah, and this is probably the like one of the most important moments in terms of game dev, which is another edition of ZTGK. So like this competition for students. Uh, but this time we actually won it,
Oh
and
wow, nice.
yeah,
And for those that don't know, it's
yeah,
ZTGK, right? Like the
ZTGK, yeah.
okay, I was making it, but it sounds so cool when you say it in the Polish alphabet.
Yeah, so I'm here with the green shirt with my team of green shirts. You'll see why in a second. And we made A
All right.
wonderful game. I love this game to this. Unfortunately, it's in Polish, so for people it might be a bit confusing. Uh, but I need to translate it one day. Basically, it was game about this dude. He was like botanic that lost his work because like um, other people were more efficient, and he tried to find some different work,
Mhm.
and he got to like, oh man, the names will be hard to translate because it's like very rough Polish. But basically, game is about communism and about like times where you were more controlled by media,
Okay.
and we kind of made game about uh, kind of choosing what way you want to go, whether you are fine with following the system, if you're fine with like being opposing it, or if you're fine with just choosing your way of whatever you want to do. And we had like a bunch of rooms here that you were like moving around between,
Yeah.
and you were doing some weird like mental tasks that were kind of showing what type of citizen you are, if you're like
Oh wow.
following the system or not.
And so you have a choice, kind of, but it's like
Yeah,
you can just do the what you
yeah,
need to do.
yeah, and we didn't try to say that like one way is better than other. We wanted to like show all the ways, and for you it's to choose what you think is the best. This game was awesome, and then at the end we were like giving some like overviews
Report
of
for it.
what, yeah, reports of what type of citizen you are, if you're a proper citizen or not, etc. That was awesome.
Wow. Wow, that's actually like very interesting.
This was
That's
awesome.
so cool.
Yeah, it was like from all the games I made, this was like probably the the closest to what I always dreamt of, because of the fact that when people were playing it, around like 10 or 20% of people after finishing the game, they were just sitting in front of the PC and look at the monitor. Like they were not saying anything. They were just
That's
thinking about the game. And
oh, that's like your
yeah, and
dream. You wanted to have an effect, right? Like from what we were
yeah,
talking about with Final Fantasy.
that was awesome. So this is also like like after winning this competition, we got tons of like invites to companies to join them, and stuff like a lot of work opportunities. A lot of like investors that wanted to this game to release, but during the summer we were too lazy to work on it later on. so, so we never finished it.
It's like that.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe one day. Yeah, but this was also the time when I participated in another game jam, and this is one also is important because this is first game I almost made from only particles.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it's basically like apart from couple objects, it's basically game made of particles that you control and try to reach another part. There will be a video from that. Um, I'm I'm so long talker. I hope I will make it in time. Yeah, I'll try to speed up a bit. So this was like a game created almost entirely from particles, and it was for Ludum Dare, so one of the biggest game jams at that time, and it got the third place in graphics, which I was
Wow.
very proud of.
Nice.
Uh, yeah, and after that, I was started giving lectures specifically on particles.
Professor
So
Particle, man.
yeah,
Nice.
to the point that they like students from this guild, game dev guild, started creating memes with me. I was basically like my nickname in that guild is it's translated to Particle Prince.
Oh, really? I was
Yeah,
close.
yeah, you're I actually like Professor of Particles. That's pretty cool. But yeah, that's how they're calling me to this day. Yeah, and later on I decided to leave my uni because uni was taking too much time from me on learning IT and not learning game dev, while I already had some work experience and I had won this uh, competition, so like I knew that I can find the work. So
Uh-huh.
so I left my uni and I started first as a freelancer for some time as Unity developer and then technical artist, and then I found place in a studio, and I joined Spoko.
Sparkle, yeah.
Yeah, and work on Witcher Monster Slayer. It's a like part of C project that recently got closed.
I know. I
Uh,
saw that. I mean, maybe it's good for us, but I mean, I'm just
yeah,
saying.
yeah. I will talk about it later too, but I hope I'll make it in time. But yes, Spoko was a huge part for me because people working there were really talented and wonderful. Basically, like Spoko was very similar to SunSpear, that
Nice.
everyone was very bond to each other, like very close to each other, and everyone was really talented. So like coming to SunSpear is like for me still continuing living in that wonderful reality of
Yeah.
wonderful game devs and stuff. There
Oh,
are
make
not
me
some.
cry, make us cry on stream. Yeah, you got such a wonderful bunch. I gotta say, right? Like, honest to God, right?
Yeah. Then I had some life issues. I had to kind of focus a bit more on my life. So I asked in Spoko if they like if I can take a break. And I took a break for a long time. I had half a year to kind of like sort everything, and then I had the problem that I felt that I have a burnout from game dev.
Oh,
I
I see.
couldn't
Yeah,
really
it
come back,
happens.
so I thought that I would maybe start with working in Starbucks first. And I learned to do some latte art.
Oh,
I
that's
even tried
oh,
Oh,
that's
I
and
love it.
then
cool.
it's
That is
not
sick.
perfect, but yeah. And yeah, after working for 3 months in Starbucks, my passion to game dev came back
Came back,
with
I bet.
huge power. So I wanted to come back to Spoko. The problem was that it was time after release of Monster Slayer, and the release wasn't successful.
Mm,
So they didn't know if I would have like possibility to work there, like opportunity to work on anything.
I see.
They were kind of having problems with management. So at that time, I got offer from Pixel Perfect Dude, and I was working on this game.
Look at that.
Uh, yeah,
Here
then
we
I
go again.
came back to ZTGK,
Awesome.
but this time as a jury.
Oh, really?
So
So
yeah,
what does that entail?
the, like I mean, I wasn't a student anymore, and I was working in industry, so that I was actually invited to rate the
Be
games.
judging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
judge the games, and uh, there were also games from people from my year, so that was funny.
Whoa, that's crazy, right?
Yeah,
To see how much progress. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm really. I
and
mean, I'm sorry that the Starbucks thing didn't work out, but I'm just saying.
I
I'm
mean,
just saying. I'm
Starbucks is
super happy.
awesome.
Yeah.
The thing is, there are two things: the pay is horrible, and the other thing is that I just love game dev. Like,
I love to see this though.
I
Yeah,
wanted
it's
to come
amazing.
back, but Starbucks is good. Like,
Yeah, hella good coffee.
yeah. Uh, this is like from one of the game jams I was part of as a mentor, and they draw something like this for me. That was good. And then after I finished my work in Pixel Perfect Dude, like we went till the end of the milestone, and I was supposed to go to other game. I've asked in Spoko if they have place for me, and they were like, "Yeah, come here." So we gathered and we had a talk on like getting back, and I joined back the team. It was wonderful. Like I love those people. The problem was that after roughly 2 or 3 months, we before week before the Christmas party, we got a meeting with entire company that we are getting closed, and yeah, like they will try to support us on the way, and they did. Like I had huge support for finding next work. Um, but yeah, it was crushing moment. Like everyone's basically crying during that
Man,
day.
it's
That was
like,
tough. Yeah, and
but
Kiepska is a meme of like Spoko means kind of like cool, and Kiepska is like uncool. So we made this logo and put it as our Discord to communicate together.
and it's like
Okay,
yeah, that's what it means too, right?
yeah,
But wait, there's more. And what did that lead to, my friend?
yeah, and here we are starting the story how I got into SunSpear. So basically, I was looking through like different games, like Steam page, etc., to see studios that I would be interested in. And then I looked at into a VFX Discord called Real Time VFX. I love this Discord and community
Yeah.
there. And scrolled the job offers that were there, and I managed to find a job offer of Ignas from now it's a year ago. So at the time I found it, it was like half a year ago. So I was
Yeah.
almost sure that it's already taken. But I was like, I mean, I've opened the page of Immortal. And I was like, damn, this game
That's the
looks
one.
good. And it's RTS. I want to work on it. So I applied, and after like a bit more than a month, I got a response that, well, we can do art tests and stuff. And yeah, I'm here right now.
And look at
Uh,
that. Yeah.
I'm a
Oh,
very, very happy person. Uh, so yeah, and this photo is from the meeting on Digital Dragons that I met with Ian and
yeah.
Ignat
Wonderful man right
later
there
on.
too. Ian,
Yeah,
for those that don't know. Like where he does so much. President. Like, and then the list just
uh,
goes on and on.
yeah. So I think okay, we've got still 15 minutes, and I'm done with my part
Wow.
basically on this.
That
So
was that
I'm
was a
sorry for taking
beautiful
so much
journey though.
time.
What do you mean sorry? This is all about you,
No,
man.
this is your show, man. Today's the day.
Oh man. Yeah, but that was such an awesome story. Like just to see, humble beginnings, right? So oh well, here you are at SunSpear. I did want to at least ask my boy Big John what it is that you've been working on. I know you were talking to some of our lore homies about something that they may be anticipating as to what you are going to be sharing with them.
Oh yeah. So while I was listening to Mihal's wonderful story, I was working on some lore stuff in the lore chat the other day. If you guys haven't checked out our Discord, you can always come hang out in our Discord, and we'll be you can join the event that we got coming up this weekend that we'll talk about soon. But we have a lore channel, and we were talking about in the lore channel some biome creature stuff that exists in our world. And today I was talking with our one of our chief creative, wonderful wizard, Dylan Kahn,
Yes.
the mastermind of it all, and we were talking about this little critter that basically was brought over um, from one of the other planets, Nuoth, in a migration through the gates as kind of like a food sustenance resource for one of like the really big empires that came in. So anyway, just designing some creature stuff that exists in some of the biomes around Shale.
Yeah.
And this is we're getting to the point in our history, world building stuff, where the ecosystems, biomes, and flora, fauna, that kind of stuff begin to somewhat integrate with each other from different planets because of the gates opening and
Yes.
being open for a while. So it causes a big shift. But this is like a little pig, mole, rat, blobfish thing.
That's awesome. And I mean, I'm assuming, with the weekend coming, the battle at Fool's Bay, it was like, oh, Nuat might be kind of dangerous to hang around, right? So,
Oh yeah.
figure out maybe to adapt, evolve, or escape, as some decide to do. And speaking of that, I mean, I know for those that don't know, Mihao is our VFX artist, and there's going to be some really, really cool effects and different updates to not only units and spells, but also the map Fool's Bay itself, who he was able to get some of that in there for you for this build. And even with some of the cool stuff, I'm not going to get into full detail as to what to expect, but I'm just saying if you haven't already, please go ahead and type in that exclamation playtest, and the link for being able to join us this weekend will be there, and you'll be able to see all the cool different stuff that will be going on this weekend. And going into that, I did want to ask both of y'all, like, how excited you are for the weekend, right? I mean, dang, a lot of work went into it.
So
Hot
excited,
damn.
man. We've
I
got
couldn't
so
sleep for a
much
week.
stuff. Yeah. We've got so much stuff going into the event. The just all the new stuff that you're going to be able to see, and of course there's going to be so much more still to
Yeah.
come. So much more. But the stuff that we have in the event right now is the culmination of everyone, of course, all the developers. We're making the game that we want to play ourselves. So it's like
Mhm.
there's lots of features we wanted to have in. Me personally, I've been really excited about the voice stuff
Yes.
that's going to be in there, and it's very exciting to finally have some voices to some of the characters in the game. Of course, not all of them are voiced, but the ones that are, it was a pleasure to work on that and to do that stuff. And then, of course, there's lots and lots of visual upgrade stuff and the stuff that Mihao, of course, was working on. We during one of our late nights working on some of the marketing videos that we have put out. I think Mihao, correct me if I'm wrong. You hopped in the chat and we talked a little bit about uh, some of those gameplay captures and your effects. Is that correct?
Yep, we did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. The there I won't spoil anything or give it away, but there's some Aru effects that Mihao did that are just chef's kiss. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited for people to get to see. Man, it's a big difference from our early playtesters, those that have been playtesting, seeing some of those gray boxes turn into things that
Oh
are
my.
we've been wanting to turn them into. It's fantastic. So
It's awesome seeing that development is amazing. Like even static, right? Static models to fully fleshed out units and models is just absolutely amazing to see. And like you said, even the voices, right? It's just some level, right? Once that comes into the game, that the immersion levels just get overloaded, you know. But my boy Mihao, I know, you know, not only did you do some of the cool Aru stuff, but there's an Immortal as well that you did some good work on, right? To give a little.
Yeah. Uh, the very beloved by community Atari probably got some
Yeah,
upgrades that many people will probably see. It's an expensive one, I would just say,
yeah.
as a spoiler. Uh, but yeah, there are plenty of cool effects, I believe. Like at least people at SunSpear really enjoyed them, so I believe they're cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, to kind of sum up how hyped I'm for the event, this week was probably my most non-productive week I had in a while. Like I couldn't focus on work at all. I was just watching trailers coming every day because they're so good. I had them on the loop and just going through all
Oh,
the madness they managed to like put into them.
yeah, seeing them. Oh, that was probably the hypest 2 weeks. Just how much work had been put into them, and just everything together, right? And hearing people's responses to it. It all started off with just hearing the voices, right? And then putting it into the battlefield, showing the gameplay, and just the level of I like emotion, right? I don't know. It's something about it when you hear it in the music in the background and just some of the stuff that I got to give a huge shout out to Johnny, especially. He's another one of our
yeah, shout out Johnny and
Yeah,
Courtney in the
shout out
Johnny and
comments.
Johnny.
Courtney. Like,
Courtney.
Hours and hours and hours of nonstop work to get those videos going, and they were so worth
Yeah.
it.
And
oh,
you can really feel how personalized those trailers are. Like you can feel the character of each immortal, which is so awesome.
I'm actually going to drop the link for the playlist into the chat here for all of y'all that are joining us. If you haven't seen these videos yet, poof.
You're
Go
losing a
check
lot.
them out. Go check them out
I'm just saying, yeah, like
after the show.
after the show, of course, which is soon, you know. So, and at the end of the show, actually, it's going to be less than 12 hours until the Battle of Fool's Bay begins, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanna put that out there.
And guys, you'll get to
There we
in
go.
the event. By the way, this is such a cool feature that I'm really excited about.
Oh
You
yeah.
get to pick a banner for the immortal that you want to represent in your battles. You don't have to play that immortal every game, but you pick the banner for the one you want to represent, and you like play that, and then it's like those you get like points towards that immortal that
Yep.
you build up over time. It's so cool. And these four immortal trailers that we made were kind of like hyping you up for to help you decide which one you like more. So
Yeah.
I gotta be
Sorry,
personally. I gotta be on Team Orza, man. He's my day one. He's my OG. But
Never
but
change, right? That's a
Ajari,
loyal.
oof, she's a close second, and Zol too. It's really hard for me to decide.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to say for Flicky, stół z powłamywanymi nogami, because he requested that.
Oh, what happened?
He wanted to say tongue breaker from Polish. Yeah,
Oh, that's amazing. And yes, he's here too. Yeah, another one of our awesome community members. A huge thank you to everybody that has been part of this journey so far, and for years to come. Right. So yeah, I can't wait to see all of y'all this weekend. And even so, some of the other things going on are some of our community members, as well as some people that you might recognize from even like StarCraft 2. Throughout the weekend, we will have some funky, fresh show matches and just some collaborations amongst some of our members that you love so much, that we love so much as well, like Neuro and Chibi and Winter. So definitely be on the lookout for those events that are going to be happening this weekend. Super stoked about that. So man, but Michal, it's been an absolute pleasure too. I mean, geez, that to see your story, hear your story, I was like, when you had first told me, and showed me all of the stuff from your game jams and everything, I did not realize how much you had done in game dev. Um, because sometimes, I always will ask, yes, so you are this, right, VFX artist, but it seems like at SunSpear, especially, there are just so many of our employees and devs that have such a wide variety. Like the background is immense, right? Even in last month's Pyreside episode with Big John, and he's like, "Yeah, I used to sing a little bit, just humble brag, Paul McCartney, something, something."
they're
I don't
showing
know.
photos from the concerts. It's
So
just
it
a
just
bit.
Yeah, and even Dylan, an amazing human being himself, said something in the chat earlier too about how impressed and just surprised and inspired by hearing everybody's story. And I really do love the Pyreside chat because it does allow us to, one, just hang out with y'all for about an hour, right? That come through in the chat, that check it out on YouTube, but also just to showcase some of the people that make this game, right? Like not just people behind the computer just clacking away trying to get this game out, but golly, some of the stories and just the personalities and just the immense talent, really, really makes this such a blessing and an amazing thing to do. So, I mean, I have a push to talk on right now, but I'm gonna take it off just so I can give y'all a round of applause, right, for all of these Pirate that we've had so far and more to come. But geez, much love to y'all guys.
I'm really curious. Tom asked in chat what our favorite immortals are. I feel like I know, but
Ooh.
I just want to know. So I unfortunately I have to choose because I hate choosing, but I have to choose probably Orzum. But I'm curious, Mihal, what is your favorite immortal after the videos have come out and all that stuff?
For me, it's Mala, but
Okay.
it's for reasons that are under NDA, so I can't say.
Hmm.
I just love her
Got it.
lore.
I see. I see.
Got it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Love it.
Yeah. And me, even before the videos, it was Jari. After the videos, Ajari even more. Oh my god! Like after seeing that and hearing that last vocal line, it just, I don't know. It hit different, man. That's all. As the kids say these days, it just hit different.
Yeah.
But it amplified it too, and it also just made me love all of the immortals because hearing them come to life and then seeing these trailers, and then I don't know, it just adds another layer to it, and there's so much more to be had. I feel like, right, like this is only scratching the surface as far as bringing the immortals to life. So stay tuned for all of that, ladies and gentlemen, and please do yourself a favor because you'll be doing yourself a disservice if you did not sign up for the event this weekend. So spreading the word about it so that we have so many people to play with, as well as introducing more people to the beauty that is this game.
And
uh,
one other thing I just want to make clear, guys, if you sign up for the event at all, then you will be able to play. So all you got
yeah,
to do is just sign up. There's not like limited seats or anything. Come on in, sign up, join us, have a bunch of fun this weekend. It'll be a blast.
it's gonna be so awesome, right? Like so yes, once you do sign up, and the link is in the chat too. I'm sure we'll put it everywhere. We've been
Oh, and check
plastered
out
it.
Miha's games as well. Just
yeah.
saw that
Oh,
link in the chat.
There's
oh,
actually a half of them, I believe. And if you want to, oh, I will link one more thing.
Yes,
So
please.
because we wanted to show my portfolio, but like my VFX work. But if you
Yeah.
want to check it out, then you just can look at my site, and
On
Nice.
the
there are
awesome
some other
too.
remaining games with explanation of like what were they created for, and also some of the effects I had in the past. Especially in style, so it's totally different from Immortal, but yeah,
Yeah. I know there's just so much. I feel like we could if we had like another half hour, but
we should have 2 hours next time.
I know. I agree. I 100% agree there. Uh, but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for Pyreside Chat. So thank you so much for tuning into this extra special episode before we do launch into this epic weekend. So I want to give obviously a huge shout out to Kip, who is behind the scenes doing the production as usual. Mihal for coming through, sharing your story, and I cannot wait to see all the work that you put in to the build that we'll be playing all this weekend. And Big John, as usual, partner in crime, being able to bless us with your awesome drawings as well and your wonderful voice and just big energy, that Big John energy, right? So
Always.
gotta say big thank you to all of y'all, especially y'all that are in the chat and anyone that does watch this, right? Supporting our game. Continue to do so, spread the word of it because this is just the beginning, man. So much love to all of y'all. We'll catch you on the weekend because everybody, we'll be there. We'll be there. Join our Discord and join the fun. Make
Thank
sure.
you so much, guys.
Yeah, thank
All
you a lot
right,
for
yo.
hosting. It was fun.
Absolutely. So happy Friday, everybody.